Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to talk about armor systems. A couple of weeks ago, I made a video talking about some of the Iceborne features I want to see come back. I mentioned that I had another feature from Iceborne that I did want to see, but it fit better as its own video since there's something really cool I want to see done with it. The features I want to see come back are set bonuses, but in a very different way than we saw in Iceborne. I also want to see alpha and beta sets come back, along with gunner sets from old school Monster Hunter. However, I want to see all three of these systems combined into a very cool system that I would love to see in Sunbreak, or even in Monster Hunter 6. These three armor mechanics had their flaws, so combining them can address the flaws of the old systems, while providing a very unique and cool system for the future. At this point I'm probably rambling on, so let's get started. Let's start with the old world armor system. In games like Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate and 4 Ultimate, Hunter armor was divided into Blade Master armor and Gunner armor. Blade Master armor would only be able to work with the melee weapons, like Great Sword and Gun Lance, while Gunner armor only worked with the ranged weapons, like the bow guns and bow. The benefit of this system was that skills were tailored specifically to the weapon type, so if you wanted to make a pierce ammo-focused set you would have a wide variety of options, where in the current system there are only a few sets that naturally have those types of skills. Another benefit to this system was that every armor had two very distinct designs, with the Gunner armor having an asymmetrical design that has more armor and shields on the left side of the Hunter, since that is the side that was closest to the monster. The problem with that system was that it was expensive to play both weapon styles. If you wanted to make a Blade Master and Gunner armor, you would need to gather twice the materials and get twice the monster parts. While some people did like this design choice, ultimately as the series became more popular, and as the focus was moved more towards the combat instead of more tedious things, this was a good decision to unify Blade Master and Gunner armor. However, in doing that, we lost many of the unique and cool visual designs that Gunner armor had. So, the second armor system we had was the one more people are familiar with, the Alpha and Beta sets from Monster Hunter. The Alpha and Beta sets had a very different design philosophy than the previous armor types. Alpha armor focused on skills that applied to the monster the armor is from, while Beta sets were more like blank slates for decorations that featured more and better decoration slots. Alpha and Beta sets also had a visual difference, but most of the time they were very minor changes, at least for the male hunters. There were some monsters that had two very different designs like Odogaron, but in general the main difference was that you could change different colors on the Beta set. This system worked great, especially when you mixed Alpha and Beta armors together to get the best of both worlds. However, Alpha sets were only really good by themselves at the start of the game when you didn't have a good reserve of decorations. Once you started getting more and more decorations, most people leaned more towards Beta sets, and Alpha sets were mainly only used as part of mixed sets. So, the last mechanic I am going to talk about here are the set bonuses. Set bonuses were extra free skills you would get for wearing a certain amount of parts of a monster. Some popular examples of this are Golden Rathian armor, which gives you Divine Blessing Secret, and Raging Brachydios, which gives you Artillery Secret. Set bonuses were not limited to secret skills however. Some sets like Uragon armor and Barioth armor added pre-existing skills like Guard Up and Punish Draw. Like I mentioned in my previous Iceborne video, I loved the concept that set bonuses had, where the more of the monster's armor you had on the more like that monster you became. The perfect example of this would be Vekana's set bonus, which gave you a special skill called Frostcraft. Frostcraft really changed your playstyle when hunting. When your weapon was sheathed, it would have an aura of frost that caused a meter next to your sharpness gauge to fill up with a total of 3 levels. Each level increased your attack with the third level giving you a 30% damage increase. This skill is a very good representation of the Velkhana hunt, since Velkhana becomes more powerful the more she covers herself. Another perfect example of set bonuses in Iceborne is actually with Shera Ishvalda. Shera's set bonus basically makes you a tank when you wear a mantle, giving you max tremor resistance, earplugs, wind resistance, and flinch free. While this set bonus wasn't as popular as one like Frostcraft, it was still one that aptly fit Schwarzwälder, since in its first form it covers itself in rocks to allow it to tank everything. The problem with set bonuses in Iceborne was that it led to many sets not being used much because of the few meta sets that easily outperformed them. Some examples of this was with Teostra's armor, and its set bonus being Master's Touch, and Fatali's armor, which invalidated the need for any other set due to its set bonuses being very powerful. As a result of these, Iceborne just left a sour taste in the mouth of many people when it came to set bonuses. So, how can Sunbreak resolve the issues those systems had, while keeping the best aspects of them? I would love to see Sunbreak, or really any future Monster Hunter game, combine those three systems with a few adjustments. Starting with the Alpha and Beta sets, a new system could be made so that Alpha armor visually looks like typical Blademaster armor, and Beta armor can look like the old-school Gunner armor with its completely unique design. To really make a difference between the functionality of Alpha and Beta armor can still keep the focus on decorations, while Alpha armor has less decorations, but has set bonuses to make up for it. Instead of having set bonuses being skill that's already available, I want to see more set bonuses like Velkhana and Schwarzwälder, ones where the set bonus isn't a meta skill or playstyle, but it introduces a new playstyle where the player plays as if they were that monster. I plan on making a video where I look at all of the monsters in Rise and give them their own unique Frostcraft-like skill, but as an example of how I would want this new system to work, let's look at Tetranodon. One of Tetranodon's defining characteristics is that it has a form change where it'll eat and take a sumo wrestler stance, giving it access to many powerful and heavy-hitting attacks. The idea I have for Tetranodon's set bonus would reflect that, so the skill could make it so that after you eat a ration or a well-done steak, you get an attack buff and become immune to any knockback for 30 seconds, effectively acting like the Rocksteady mantle in Monster Hunter Iceborne. Obviously, unique skills like these would have to be fine-tuned, so they aren't broken. However, I think this fresh take on set bonuses will not only encourage people to try out new skills and play styles, but also make the monsters feel like they play a much bigger role in the games than just wail on me. Anyways, that's my idea to overhaul the special armor systems we have. Looking at Sunbreak, I don't think we will see a system like this implemented, especially since base Rise has a very simple armor system. However, I do hope Sunbreak does add some of the classic armor systems that we're familiar with, like having multiple G-rank armors for the same monster. The main feature I really want to see in Sunbreak are set bonuses, since Rise already has a similar mechanic in place with skills like Storm Soul, Dragonheart, and Hellfire Cloak. I would love to see these kinds of unique skills and set bonuses apply to a lot more monsters, like the other high-tier monsters, or even the Apex monsters. People in the community have been begging Capcom to add Apex armor into Sunbreak, so I would love to see Apex armor with unique set bonus-like skills, like Apex Rathian's armor could replace the Kunai with a deadly venom spike, or Apex Zynoger armor can have a skill where the more consecutive hits you perform, the faster your attack animations become. I know that this video is shorter than normal, and the reason for that was because I wanted to do a bit of Sunbreak speculation this week, specifically, the next time we will hear news about it, or even when we are getting the first trailer. So to start, I don't think we will hear any news relatively soon. On December 20th, the official Monster Hunter Twitter released the event quest schedule for the rest of the month, most likely due to Christmas being soon, and everyone taking time off their jobs to spend time with family. Because of this, it's very unlikely that they will release new major information during this time. Looking at 2022, the Rise PC version is set to release on January 12th, and this past month they have been promoting it with videos of monsters in 4K. Along with the PC release, which will more than likely feature a Steam launch trailer, we also have the USJ and BS Nippon collaboration that both said we would get further information at a later date. We even know that the USJ collaboration is coming with a longsword and bow, since you can see the missing weapons on the weapon tree. And even on top of that, we received confirmation that we will get a weekly hunting guide noted themed off mechanics in Sunbreak in 2022. With the overwhelming amount of information the Monster Hunter team is holding back on, I think it is very safe to say that we will get a digital event in January. As for when in January, I would guess sometime near when Rise on PC releases, since a launch trailer makes sense to premiere at such an event. Even if we don't get the digital event in January, I think early 2022 is still the prime opportunity to see the first trailer, since they still have to release the weapon showcases, reveal the special mechanics, and potentially the demo a few months before the game releases. So that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed the bit of speculation and want to keep hearing more, then please like the video and consider subscribing. As always, I will make sure I stay on top of any new Monster Hunter news we may get and talk about it, because you know, speculating is fun. Okay, I'm adding this after I finished making this video, because I woke up this morning and say that the official Monster Hunter Twitter made an announcement basically saying we won't hear any substantial Sunbreak information until spring of 2022. I'm starting to get the impression that Capcom knows whenever I try to predict then we could get news, and then decides to completely upend that speculation. Anyways, spring 2022 will probably mean March, since at the absolute latest we will get Sunbreak in April, and they still have to do all of their marketing with the weapon updates and other trailers like I mentioned earlier, and March gives them that 6-ish month window that they normally use to get all of that information out. Sorry for the random update, but I didn't feel like making an entirely new video about this. Thanks you again for watching and see you soon.